Phi at the Naval Special Warfare Training Base. Respect isn't a gift, it's earned. And on one grey misty morning, a young woman named Aria Malik asked for something nobody expected: a spot on the SEAL sniper firing range. The request alone made half the officers laugh out loud. But the loudest skeptic, that Colonel Harris, a man carved from granite, who firmly believed sniping was not a woman's world, he would soon regret underestimating her. Aria walked into the colonel's office, her boots still muddy from the morning's brutal drills. "Sir," she said, her voice steady, "I'd like permission to train on the sniper range." Harris didn't even bother to look up from his papers. He scoffed. "The rifle you'll be using weighs half of what you do." A few officers in the room chuckled. Aria didn't flinch. "Permission to prove myself, sir," he smirked, finally meeting her eyes with a dismissive glare. "You get one morning? Don't waste my time." He thought he was just getting rid of her. He had no idea what he had just unleashed. Dawn. The range was dead silent, the wind sharp and unforgiving. Targets were set at distances that looked like tiny specks on the horizon, distances that made seasoned veterans sweat. Colonel Harris and a few amused SEAL snipers stood behind her, arms crossed, ready for a laugh. As Aria inspected the rifle, her movements were calm, precise, and professional, so much so that the snipers exchanged uneasy glances. She lay down, her body perfectly still, exhaled softly, and pulled the trigger. The crack of the rifle echoed across the range, followed by a long pause. Then, the undeniable sound of a bullet hitting dead center. At 1,000 yards. One sniper blinked, stunned. Another leaned forward, squinting through his own scope. Harris muttered, "Beginner's luck." Aria said nothing. She reloaded. Fired again. Another perfect center. And again. And again. The snipers started whispering among themselves. "How is she calculating wind that fast?" one asked. "She's adjusting before the instructor even calls it," said another. But Aria wasn't just guessing. She wasn't just lucky. For years, she had quietly spent her nights in libraries, devouring books on physics and ballistics in places where no one believed in her potential. She understood angles. She understood atmospheric pressure. She understood motion, silence, and the rifle in her hands more deeply than anyone there could possibly imagine. As she kept firing, shot after perfect shot, Colonel Harris's smirk slowly melted away. It was replaced by a frown, then disbelief, and then something that looked a lot like fear. Finally, Harris stalked forward, his face a mask of frustration. "Fine," he snapped. "Let's see you hit the impossible one." He pointed to a tiny steel plate, nearly 2 kilometers away, a shot so difficult. Only 3 SEALs in the base's history had ever landed it. The wind was brutal now, whipping across the range in unpredictable gusts. The angle was wicked. The distance was ridiculous. Aria took her time, adjusting her scope, her breathing slowing down until it was almost imperceptible. She was timing the gusts, feeling the rhythm of the wind. A full 30 seconds passed in total silence. One of the snipers muttered, "She's not going to take it." Bang! The shot rang out, and for what felt like an eternity, there was only silence. Then, ping! The clear, unmistakable sound of the bullet striking steel echoed back. The snipers' jaws dropped. Colonel Harris physically stumbled back as if he'd been struck. Aria calmly lowered the rifle, looked back at him, and asked permission to continue. "Sir." Over the next week, she didn't just continue, she dominated. She broke the SEAL win correction record. She shattered the long-range accuracy record. She set a new standard for rapid-fire precision, and then went on to break the endurance sniping record. Whispers turned into legends that spread through the entire base. Who is she? Where did she learn this? Is she even human? Colonel Harris was forced to personally revise the official sniper roster. Next, to the entry for top of class, he wrote her name. Aria Malik, qualified sniper, record holder. On graduation day, Colonel Harris stopped her as she was leaving. For the first time, there was no mockery in his voice, only a deep, grudging respect. "I judged you before you even touched a rifle," he said. "You proved me wrong. And every sniper here, Aria, didn't smile or gloat. She simply met his gaze and said, "I didn't come here to prove you wrong, sir. I came to prove myself right." And with that, she walked away the best sniper the base had ever seen. If this story moved your heart, show some love with a like, a comment, and make sure you subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.